Yeah.
Back at it.
Back
What
at
we
it,
got?
man. Back at it.
Where we at? Live session number five.
Number five.
Number
Number
five.
five.
Big five. Yeah. Back at it.
Yeah.
Feeling good, bro. Feeling good. It's been rolling. I feel real good about, you know, everything we've been doing and putting in the atmosphere
Yeah.
and the influences that and some of the stories and some of the feedback we've been getting and just kind of, a couple of people put some things into play for themselves and
Yeah.
shifted their mindsets and they starting to see results, man. I think that's what it's about, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? But your boy G White, this is IU Redemption podcast. It's your boy G White, live session number 5.
Big speaker. You know what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's gonna be one of them. Um, so y'all know how we do this. This is just a conversation.
Yeah.
It's relaxed. We love to see the comments. We love to see the feedback that people put in. That way we can chime in and interact with
Yeah.
you for the Q&A. Um, Making sure that we give you something that you can kind of take for the rest of your week and kind of talk through some things. We're gonna go through a recap of the video we dropped on Monday, which was powerful. When we talk about the attitude and everything and the mindset behind, certain things.
Yep. And I think that just like you just said, more and more people come to us and say how they using some of the content to get them through
Yeah,
some of the things that they're going through. So
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
biggest benefit and why we do this.
no doubt.
So it's about that time. Let's start it off with the IOU moments. G
Shit, you
White.
give it. Shit, I would say, we got to hit him with the IOU. My IOU for this week would be put in work. Uh,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
short.
yeah, yeah.
Put in work. Put in
Yeah.
work. Right, right.
Oh, you
No,
want
but
to talk
straight
about
up.
okay.
You know me, man. I'm a hustler, so I gotta put something plain out there that's powerful for the hustlers.
Yeah.
Put in work. Put in work consistently. Put in work no matter what. Put in work no matter if it's going your way or not at the moment.
Yeah.
Because just consistently putting in work, it's a few things there, and I want to touch on them. One is I don't know anybody that's been successful or reached their highest potential without putting in some form of consistent work. So don't ever stop putting in work. Um, I would say, the old cliche when they say um hard works hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I've put that into place situations where I may have not been the most talented or the smartest person for whatever, but my work ethic and that hard work and my mindset has put me in place with people because I know there's
Yeah.
others like me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't take a break with people like me because I'm never going to stop taking a break as long as I know, what I know. So, I would say that when put into work. And I would say also when you consistently put in work in your life, you're adding value to yourself as the individual. You know what I mean? You're adding knowledge, experience, and wisdom. And when you talk after putting in consistent work, look at us. In order for us to even get to the point to even be able to do a podcast or feel like we can speak on things, we have to put in work. Consistent.
What's work though? What tell them what work could be.
What you mean? Like as far as just everything.
Like
I mean,
what are your definition of work?
work could be
Because it's
uh
different.
it could be sacrifices. It could
Yeah.
be
See, yeah.
it could be the sacrifices. It could be, on them lonely roads by yourself, the time you set
Yeah.
aside, the investing in yourself. It can be not doing what everybody else is doing. It can be the bad part. It could be taking the lonely road. It can be going, like I said, it doesn't have to be the highs, it could be the lows too.
Yeah.
You know, the highs and lows are why we're able to kind of talk about what we're talking about, and that came through putting in work. So when you talk after putting in work for so many years or for so many different experiences, what you say holds weight. It becomes credible. You
Yeah.
become a credible source through the work that you've put in consistently over
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? And so we share a lot of things because we don't want other people to have to go through maybe some of the things that we had to learn trial by fire from, right?
Yeah.
But it all came from putting in work. So
That's what this is about.
most definitely. So I would just say my IOU moment for this week is to everybody out there: continue to keep putting in work, even if nobody sees it right now. You're adding value to yourself. You're making yourself a credible source, and you will end up being a resource for someone else. And if you keep working hard and putting in work consistently, good things are gonna come to you. Um, and if you don't reach your goal, you're gonna be pretty close to reaching it, consistently putting in work. So
Yeah.
what I got for you?
Good stuff. Good stuff.
What you got for him?
My IOU moment. Hold on, G White. Hold on. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah,
I
go
hold
ahead.
on. My IOU moment. Your 8-hour workday is considered survival mode.
Mm-hmm.
The hours outside those 8 hours are considered your future. Okay. So what I'm referring to here is everybody got an 8-hour day. They're whether it's your corporate job, your job at a 9 to 5, if you want to call it like that. Whatever that is, that your main job, that's your 8-hour workday. And I want to tell you something. The reason why I struggled at this, why other people struggle at this, is because you have to realize that the 8 hours you're going to work for every day, Monday through Friday, some people
Mm-hmm.
even work the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
You might work a 12-hour shift. Guess what? That's survival mode, meaning you're doing what's necessary to put money in your pocket, food on the table, to take care of your family,
Right.
to pay your rent, to pay your car note. You understand what I'm saying? You have no other room to branch out and do something for yourself. So those 8 hours are not, you're owned by those 8 hours. You don't own those 8 hours. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's survival mode. Here's the other part of this. The hours outside of those 8 hours, or those 10 hours, those 12 hours, whatever your shift is, that's what you need to work towards, because that's your future. And you'll never get to a point where you want to be in your life if you never tap in of those hours that's outside of your 8 hours of your workday. And that's what I got for the IOU moment today, because I believe that people got to understand that you have to do something outside of your day-to-day job in order to get ahead in this life.
Right.
Even if you making whatever amount of money you think is okay, the fact is that someone can come and take that job from you right now,
Yes.
and you're gonna be left with nothing. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? Even if you have 2, 3 jobs, you can get all them jobs wiped out. Be creative, do something on your own,
Yep.
build on something right now that will help you in the future. This is the main key point that people got to understand. Get out of survival mode.
Be your own backup plan. Be your own insurance plan. You understand? I would say before we move on is I found myself too invested. First off, you raised by hustlers. You know my dad, you know the men in
Yeah,
my family, you know the people that I've been around, always hustling. I went to college at the time and got all, too invested in the corporate America where I put all my eggs in one basket and, it bit me in the butt at times.
yeah,
So that only happened to me one time and it's never been like that since. So you absolutely correct. We always tell people, do what you got to do. We all go through a process. I've worked the 8s, I've worked the 10s, I've worked the 12s, I've done all that. That's real stuff. People out there
yeah.
working 16s. Do what you do. But listen here, that's what you have to do to survive, like you just said. It's that time when you do clock out. That's your future,
You
what
can't
you
stop
building right
there.
there.
You got to keep going.
You got to keep going, especially if you want to find the things in life. You want to better yourself. You want to put yourself in a different position. You're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to do it. It's not,
Yep.
you know how I go. Ain't no money trees coming to no front doors.
Ain't
You know,
nobody coming to save you neither.
nobody's coming to save you. They're not coming for us. Whoever
Not
us
coming.
is, whoever you think
They're
is,
not coming.
you gonna have to save yourself, your kids, your family. You know what, man? We gave them the IOUs. Let's get into it, y'all. This IOU redemption. Let's get it going.
Yeah, like that. That was
had
a good
to
IOU moment, man.
for sure, man. The IOU moments is like it's not a hidden gem, but it's a real big gem to me that I always look big nugget. I want people to chew on and really
Yeah,
think about. You know what I mean? And we could dang near have episodes straight off of just the IOUs.
yeah,
They be that powerful. But you know what? I like it because it's like everything that represents us. We don't take anything off. We don't put
yeah,
filters on anything. We give it to people the best we can every single time.
yeah.
But before I go any further, let's talk about your shirt, man. What's up with your get up right now? Um,
Yeah.
I'm
You know,
I'm in 30 degree weather, man. Um,
yeah.
what's up with your get up, man? What you got going on right now?
What's my temperature right now, man? Give me 1 second. 80 degrees. I'm in Mexico right now. So I'm in Cancun. I got my beach shirt on. I got my shades on. I had a different hat, but I can't fit the headphones over it. So
The brim in
I
that
gotta
in them
come like
headphones wasn't
this.
gonna work. The brim in them
So
headphones was
yeah.
not gonna work.
So again, today is my wife's birthday. Today is Chelsea's birthday.
Happy
So
birthday.
again, lead by example. The last time it was A's birthday. Today is Chelsea's birthday. Eh, See, this is the point I want to make. I had to make sure Chelsea understood this too, because I don't want her to feel like I'm robbing her from her time. But I think that we was sitting at the table eating, and we was talking about blessings. She brought up the point where she said she was reading her devotional, and she said that she was reading there was some where it said that your blessings, you can become overwhelmed with your blessings.
Mm-hmm.
So I looked at her and I was like, "You're talking about the kids, right?" He was like, she was like, "Yeah, the kids and being the wife,
Mm.
aka dealing with you." I understand that. And so all these things, right? So then I was like, so we got on that conversation, and then I was like, you know what? You need to this season right now, like this whole week, I've been reading things about God is preparing me. He's telling me be ready because
Mm-hmm.
he's about to open up more and more for me, right? And he's been telling me to be ready in the sense of the person that receives a lot. And I'm just paraphrasing. The person that
Right.
receives a lot is expected to perform more. And
Absolutely.
then once you're entrusted with more, like he's entrusting me with more right now, I'm gonna need way more out of you. So I told her that I said, more blessings come to us, you're gonna be expected to give more. So you got to remember that, right? And so where I'm going with this is that I told her, like, when I do these podcasts, it's like anything I do in life. If I say I'm gonna do it, I gotta do it, and I gotta be consistent with it, even if it's at a time that's inconvenient. Because this is the thing: when you do anything, you trying to lose weight, you trying to not eat certain foods, but it's a party this week, Super Bowl party that week.
Right.
You trying to do things better with your health. You trying to not drink so much. Do that, right? Oh, but something going on this. You have to take it upon yourself to say, no, I'm doing this right now. Ain't
Right.
nothing getting in between it. This podcast is an hour. I can shake back, do this, and go do what we do, right? So that's why the get up is like it is.
I
I'm in
just
Cancun
yeah, I
on
just
the
had
beach.
to
So
the people wanted to know because we definitely look like we in two different pages or two
yeah,
different places, and we actually are. Like not even just two different states, like two different countries at the moment.
yeah,
But again, that's just how we rock, bro.
yep,
That's just how we rock. They're gonna see different backgrounds. You're gonna see us on all type of trips and campgrounds and everything. I mean, we're gonna
yeah,
take you with us. Uh, but we're not gonna make excuses. Because when you gotta lead by example. So
yeah,
um jumping into we could get into the recap when you're ready for the,
yeah.
go over the video we dropped.
So yeah, so I think that from this past weekend with the video that we had, basically trying to get you to understand that your circumstances are not responsible for your thought process. And I want to know what a lot of people really have to say about this particular item, because we're kind of not taught this way. We're
Right.
kind of we're kind of taught that, you know, you make these decisions, and the decisions you make you know, you can really change them by what you're doing, and you forget about the circumstance based on the decision you make. So you can't just find yourself in a situation like you didn't just land here. You did something to get here. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So this is why I think this is so important, because if we can teach people, we can like just get them that train of thought to say, if I correct my mind state on the front end, the
Mm-hmm.
back end will follow
Yeah,
properly.
absolutely. Um, I will jump in and I would say, well, first off, hold on, get to the comments. Oh yeah, Adam. No, it's his wife Chelsea's birthday today.
Yeah.
It's his wife's birthday. It's Chelsea's birthday today.
Yeah.
Uh, Auntie
Yes,
Georgie
indeed.
say. Appreciate that, Auntie Georgie. So I would just say, I remember, and again, we got the full, like I always like to tell the people, we got the full video from that we dropped on Monday. It's on our YouTube.
Yep.
That's where you can get the full video on the YouTube. But I would say, one of the key things we jumped it off with when I mentioned staying away from people, staying away from those people.
Yep.
Um, and without getting too far off into the weeds of it all, the biggest part of it to me was staying away from people, any type of person, without, it doesn't matter relationship, how long you've known this person, how close they are to you as far as a sibling or whatever. If they're not making you better, they're making you worse. Stay away from people that are pulling you back into places that you've been delivered from.
Yep.
Um, this is something that I've had to tell myself. I'm sure some of you have dealt with this as well. Um, and it could be anything that you've been trying to better yourself and stop doing and move forward. And then you come around maybe this particular group or this particular person, and every time you're around them, you
Yep.
find yourself doing what you said you weren't going to do anymore, or being in a mindset that you weren't going to be in anymore. Um, and we kind of went into the fact of, you know, I don't be around in every day when I get up. I just want to smile. I want to laugh. I want to be around people that are excited to see me. I
Yeah.
want to enjoy. You know what I mean? But we have bad days like everybody else. We run into situations like everybody else. We're not perfect people. But we usually reflect on the days that didn't go the way that we wanted them to go, right? So if we lost our head some days, right, or said something we shouldn't have said, or maybe got a little bit more angry at certain, we talk as men, we talk about those type of things, and we don't find it
Right.
funny, we don't find it cool, we don't think that's lit, we don't, because that's not
Yeah.
what I get up every day for. We've worked too hard to get to where we are, and I tell everybody, life's too short, and you work too hard to be filling your days around negativity, or to be around people that are draining you, right?
Yeah.
Like I've mentioned in a couple of videos before, being in those one-sided conversations, too many of those one-sided conversations where you're pouring into somebody or pouring into a particular group of people and you're not getting something back. You understand what I'm saying? Stay away from those type of people in those situations. Love them from a distance. What they say in the old school, feed them with a what? A long handle
Long handle
spoon.
spoon.
That long handle spoon, and that's okay to do. That's okay, and you can do that out of love, because we busy right now. We focus. You focus.
Yeah.
You got something you trying to do right now. You got somewhere
Yeah.
you trying to go. So it's all about protecting your mental. You know what I mean? And that's one thing we tapped into when we was discussing it.
Yeah. And I think that one of the things that I like to think about when we talk about this situation is that
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing about it. I'm not perfect. G White, you not perfect. And for some reason, like, first of all, I have this sense of feeling like coming from where I'm from and where I'm at now in this present day. And I know a lot of other people feel this way too, who ever accomplished anything in life.
Right.
You're gonna be held at a higher standard.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, if we was at somebody's backyard, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we might be indulging in
Some adult beverages.
right. And
Yeah.
what happens when a pastor walk in? Everybody start pushing their drinks to the side, like hiding it, whatever, like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where I'm going with this is that what I'm saying is that the pastor is held to a higher standard. Okay. And I'm not correlating anybody to a pastor. I'm trying to get you to understand the situation. So if you anybody who accomplished anything from where people like struggle to even get the same privileges as other people, or the right resources just to be able to do something, it's
Yeah.
hard. Like, so when you see somebody succeed at something, you're like, oh man, like, man, he just did that. He just, you know what I'm saying? It's very eye-opening to us to see somebody succeed at anything. So when that happens, you held at a higher standard. Now here's the
Mhm.
thing. I'm still human. I
Absolutely.
still I still make mistakes. This podcast we doing is not just for y'all. It's for me too. We are really speaking to y'all like how we speak to each other on the phone.
Yep.
And the difference is like we talking to somebody and we're able to get it off our chest, and it's helping us at the same time. So yes, we make mistakes too. We do things sometimes out of character, and we have to check ourselves about it. So please believe that you see me somewhere and I get in a scuffle or something happen, or yeah, I'm human. It
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I'm not on this podcast saying that like I'm on top of the world, I'm better than everybody else. No, I'm trying to tell you that listen, I'm still making some of the same mistakes y'all making.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you that the difference is the suites that y'all know back in Hammond 219 is not the same artist, father of four.
Mm.
See what I'm saying? I
Mm.
know how to handle situations differently now.
Yes.
If I got into something back then, it would have been a different story.
It
Right now, how I'm handling it is
is
totally
different.
different. It
Listen,
might be an altercation, but it's not gonna go there because I'm gonna handle it differently.
listen.
That's what we trying to teach y'all how to do.
I think that the thing is, like you just said, before we move to the next point, is that we have the same days that everybody else had. The ups and downs, the highs and lows, the good and bad. But never misunderstand this. Whatever we were is still in us. We just try to bury it
Yes.
and grow from it, right? So if we make a mistake, we try not to make that same mistake 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row. And
Yeah.
and guess what? I've gotten big on saying I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We've
That's why
said
we brought
sorry.
that up. Yeah.
We've said sorry to each other. You understand? I didn't
Yeah.
see a bunch of people say sorry. You've done things to me. I've done things to you. We've disagreed on things, and we've both had to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
and that don't make you less of a man. That didn't make me less as a man because we're still growing, and that's a part of growth is being able to tell somebody, "My bad. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I made a mistake. You caught me on a bad day." Or let's talk about when we out in public or somewhere you out. We bump into somebody, like you say, we clean it up real quick. If I bump into somebody in the club or at somewhere, excuse me, my bad, man, my bad. I want you to
Yeah.
know I'm not gonna let you leave that situation thinking I just feel like I'm so tough and that that I command the room so much I don't have to say I'm sorry or my bad or something, right? It depends on the situation. I might offer to buy you a drink just so you know it's no misunderstanding. And that
Yeah.
doesn't make me a punk. That doesn't make you less than a person, like less than anything. You understand what I mean? We just don't lead with the things that we used to lead with. You know, because
Yeah.
that's not funny. We got stuff to lose. We got people that look forward to seeing us come home. Some situations are, some situations are,
Yeah.
most situations are worth walking away from if you can. Um, and the best way to do a lot of that, bro, is to minimize your risk, the situations, the environments that you put yourself into, and that percentage of you getting into some of those oddball situations to where you may have to come out of character. It's a very small percentage because of where you are and maybe who you're around or what values or what you're leading with. So um you know what I mean? That's a couple of the things that we talked about. And it's all about maturity and growth. But those that know us, I think you understand that. But for the people that don't know us and that may at times, uh,
Nah, it's people that do know us
well,
that think
yeah,
that we are perfect, and we're not perfect.
nah,
We are flawed individuals, and w- I just want I just want everybody to see that we practicing what we preach.
yeah,
But we're just telling you that it's still in us, but there's a way to go about to handle the situation now. It's a
yeah,
little different. It's a lot different actually. So
yeah,
again, your attitude is your choice. Like
yes,
we can pick that attitude, and depending on which person you want to get, it'll be a whole different, outcome. So you just have to pick your attitude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um,
I'll dive into this. When we talk about your attitude and your circumstance, um, what I'm saying is you can still be at a low point in your life and have a great attitude, right? Um, it's easy when you're not where you want to be and you're not attaining, you haven't really achieved those goals that you set, and to get in a funk, right? Or you're trying to just keep you fall into a rut. A bad attitude is going to keep you there. You know what I mean? It's got it, and like they say, it can get worse. It may make your situation worse.
yeah,
But you can be at a low point and still have a positive outlook on what you're dealing with. You know what I mean? So that positive attitude, the body follows the mind, right?
yeah,
Um, I would say, for a prime example of that, and I gave this example and I always tell people, I remember LaTroy Hawkins called me after I ran my first full marathon. And, LaTroy played, he's from the 219, played professional baseball for over 20 years, MLB, Indiana Hall of Famer. Look him up. Good guy. What I'm saying is he called me. He said, G White, I've been running, trying to get my wind up. I've been trying to get myself up to run a full marathon. How did you do it? And I know what he was expecting for me to hit him with some detailed regimen where, you know what I mean, that I some crazy plan. I talked to him about getting out a couple of times throughout the week and then what I did on Saturdays and, cleaning up the diet or whatever. But I had to really just tell him, like, most of the things that I do that people find extraordinary or crazy is because of my mind. I told him most of the time me running, I'm going off emotion. I'm running aggressive. I'm upset almost. I'm thinking about, I don't even see anybody else when I'm running. It's tunnel vision because I'm thinking about everything people may have told me I wasn't going to be, or maybe things I told myself I might not achieve. I'm in my head completely 100%. And before you know it, you done did something that less than 1% of people in the world ever get to accomplish. You know what I mean? I'm in that 1%. And that's just that. That's just that. But anything that I do, I'm in my head. And I try to make sure my mental stays strong, bro. Like we kind of talk back and forth about different books. We share books and we talk about different books we're reading. We'll talk about a finance book or a motivational book or something. And I'll tell you in a minute, like, hey, I got to read this book real quick because my mind a little slipping. I'm finding myself in a dark, in not a dark place, but a deeper, like kind of displaced from where I need to be mentally. So I need to tighten back up because I know when my mind is set on something, I'm gonna get whatever I got. Whatever I want to do, I'm gonna do it if my mind is right. I have not put my mind to anything and not got it. Anything. I haven't seen it yet. Anything that I've truly dedicated myself to, I've obtained with a strong mind. So that's what we kind of was getting into with the attitude and how you can, even if it's not, things may not be going your way at the time, keep a strong attitude and keep a positive outlook. You know what I'm saying? Because it can make a difference between make your situation better or worse.
and I want to take it here because what I'm noticing right now, I'll give y'all a little insight about this. So, you know how when the pandemic first started,
Mm-hmm.
when that first started, a lot of these businesses went remote, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when they went remote, they was like, most businesses was like, we need workers. And this was at the time where the government was kind of giving people stimulus checks and things like that. So it wasn't really an incentive for people to kind of work. But as that slowly faded off, then people went back to work. And then these companies, a lot of these companies hit record profits during COVID.
Absolutely.
They hit record profits. Now, this is what's happening. And this is going to come back full circle. So now COVID has worn off, and now because of these companies hit these record profits during that time, this is what they did. They set their goals. They set their goals based on the income that they received, the profits they received from that time period.
Right.
Which, if you think about it, was an outlier because you're not necessarily going to hit those goals during that time period because it was something that happened that made you hit those high levels. But yet they set them goals that high. Now, as that COVID is gone, everything's back to normal. Now, guess what? They can't hit those goals.
No.
So what's happening? A lot of people are getting laid off right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm going with this. People getting laid off, and I think this calls for a little bit of encouragement for the people that's getting laid off. And this is what I tell people. Um, you have to always, and this is why it goes back to the 8 hours, the hours outside of the 8 hours of what you're doing. There's countless times where people put they all into an organization and then they get laid off.
Yes.
You don't want to be that person. So what I'm saying, if it ever does happen, now you have to tap in and understand what you need to do to move forward. And I think that the word of encouragement for me for this is don't let what you've been through affect what you need to do next.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Hold on. Say that again. Run that back.
Don't let what you've been through affect what you need to do next.
I like that.
So because this happened to you at this one company, you got laid off, you cannot be discouraged to go apply again somewhere else. You cannot be discouraged to say, okay, I know you guys laid me off from here, but can I rotate amongst another department? What else is open? You have to go back into this thing and try to figure it out, because quitting ain't an option. We don't have no options of quitting. You got to be there for yourself, and ain't nobody else going to be able to talk to you. So what I'm saying is, maybe in that time, use that as a blessing in disguise. Go get your skill set up, do what you need to do. And I want to tell this one thing before I let you get into this. If I lost all my income, whatever, I have no pride going to work at McDonald's. And I want to get this out there, because I've heard people say they don't want to take a lower established job like that or something like that. You cannot do that. Some money is better than no money. You got to be able to get yourself back in position to do something, and look at it in the positive light.
Yeah.
If you meet somebody and you say what you do, like I always do, I don't really like telling people what I do, because I don't want people to feel like I'm superior to them.
Right.
So I said it in a modest tone, like I work cybersecurity. And this just happened. This just happened to me. This, when I told you I went on that wine tasting.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, I work at Whataburger. I didn't like Whataburger's like Burger King or like back in the home, you know. I don't judge that person because they work at a fast food restaurant.
No.
Because mine is like, so you think about franchising one of those?
For my life.
Because most of the restaurants, you have to work there before you can franchise.
You can start on fries and end up owning.
So yes,
absolutely.
But the brilliant thing we found about this, and I told him, is this. If you think about the jobs like McDonald's, Burger King, White Castle, or whatever, the managerials around in the restaurant are the last line of defense for our people. You get that?
Yeah.
Because most people like the military, right?
Right.
They'll be like, I'm gonna join the military or I'm gonna go work at fast food, because it's their last option before they either go to jail, do something, rob somebody, or do something else, right?
Yeah.
So never downplay the role of a job you think is too small for you.
Well, listen here. And this is coming from Mr. Done It All. You understand what I'm saying? I've found myself counseling people we know. And I don't really like to put people's names out there, and I won't. But what I would say is this: I found myself counseling somebody close. They were going through a difficult circumstance, and I'm talking to them about what you're trying to do to change that. And I'm like, have you applied at McDonald's? Like, you try to, no, man, I don't want nobody to see me working up in there, whatever. I'm thinking, what?
Yeah.
You crazy? You think if my stomach touching my back, you think I care what y'all think about me? I'm flipping burgers high to the sky. I'm shaking fries.
Is the devil.
Man, you crazy? I've done it all. You can't tell somebody like me what you're not gonna do when I've done it all. Like I always we tell everybody, there's no shortcuts.
No.
You know what I'm saying? If I can scrape weeds out of a sidewalk with a butter knife, if I can drive an ice cream truck, if I can work 100-degree weather, if I can work next to 1,800-degree furnaces, listen here, don't come around me telling me what you ain't gonna do.
What you can't do.
Because I can't relate. I've done it all. And it's all a part of my story, my testimony, my process, whatever you want to call me at that time.
Yeah.
But I didn't go into it with it's I gotta do what I gotta do to eat. I gotta do what I gotta survive. Now I got kids, I got family to put. Man, come on. I'm doing whatever it takes because, like you said, would you rather be out there robbing, killing, and stealing?
Yeah.
No, I'm not trying to go down none of those routes. Like you said, I'm flipping burgers, shaking fries up. I'm doing whatever. And I'm gonna do it good. I'm gonna do it well. I've done it all. I've bust tables. I've worked at restaurants. I've taken orders. You understand what and I do whatever any of those jobs I've done before we got to where we are today. I've done them with pride and I've done them very well. You understand what I mean? No matter what my title was, no matter what my pay range was, I did my job well. So, that's one of the things. So I want to get kind of into some of these comments too, bro.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we want to make sure we hollering at the people.
We want more questions from the people.
Well, Aaron said something a while ago.
Let's go.
Creekside. And I like this one. You know what I'm saying? He said the biggest thing to understand about your circumstances is to understand the fear that got you in those circumstances. I could definitely understand that. You want to go get a crack at that first or what?
Processing it. So I'm gonna break that down. I'm gonna go against the grain on that. Because it is not, in my personal opinion, it is not your fear. It is again your mind. Your mind is telling you to be scared. Okay. So I'll give you an example. This is a real life example too. So when I was growing up and I was, it was Eggers and Spohn, right? Y'all remember Spohn. So it's basically two different middle schools. One, Eggers was where all my people was. Spohn was more Hispanics, and it was really gang affiliated.
Yeah.
So when my mom was like, "You going to Spohn? You ain't going to Eggers," I was like, "No, I don't want to go to Spohn. I ain't trying to get jumped on."
You did
See what
go
I'm
to
saying?
Spohn.
I went to Spohn for 6th grade.
Yeah.
And it was that circumstance that I was in.
Yeah.
It was, you would say it was fear, but it really wasn't fear. It was my mindset telling me that my friends were going to protect me more than the people I never even met. I never even met these people. Why am I judging them? And why am I going off of just my own mind? It's my mindset. And I can tell you that when I went to Spohn, none of that happened. It was more fights at Eggers than it was at Spohn. I got, you know what I'm saying? It's just that, and that's why I say I'm gonna go against the grain on that, because your fear is something that you have to change. It's okay to be fearful of things. That's the first thing, right? That you're gonna be fearful of things. But I think that you overcome that fear. You're gonna have to make a decision, whether you're scared or not, right?
Yeah, you're gonna either.
You see what I'm saying? You're gonna have to make a decision regardless. But what's the choice after the fear? See what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it's still gonna be your choice.
Hey, no, look, Aaron, no fear. It says fear always bad or negative. Nope.
Fear is not bad or negative.
Look,
no.
Look.
No.
Look, and it kind of go to attitude and putting ourselves in situations. And I know, bro, he a family man just like me. He from the creek. You understand what I mean? What I'm saying is just like me and you, what we talked about earlier, what we got in us and whatever else like that. Guess what my fear is? And I've said it before. My fear is losing everything that I built.
Right.
That's a real fear of mine, that I'm going to lose my head or put myself in a situation and lose everything that I've built. You know what I mean? And that type of fear stays on the forefront of my mind and helps me navigate in situations to where I may not react the way that everybody in the room may expect me to react, or the way I used to react to certain things, or you know what I mean? So that type of fear. I don't think fear is always negative. Just be careful on how much fear that you have and what type of fear and what that's, you know what I mean? If it's holding you back from something, or that fear is pushing you in the right direction. So like
some
my
people say
fears
that
push me in
fear
the
is
right
pushing
direction.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
my
that's
fear
what
pushes me in the right direction.
exactly. That's where his question is going. That's what he's
Definitely.
saying, that fear can
Yeah.
be a catalyst to what you're gonna do. But what I'm saying is that break that, because fear will stop you from getting the blessing.
Yeah.
Fear will stop you from doing what you want to do. See what I'm saying? You got to be able to, and again, it's the thought process. You
Yeah.
got to be able to train your mind and say, and like, I'm telling you, man, talk to yourself. That's
Hey,
your inner gut.
let's
That's
get to
your
that.
inner gut telling you. I'm telling you, that's your inner gut. Your
Yes.
brain talking to you. This is what we talked about.
Yeah.
That's your brain saying it's building up. I can't do that. That's gonna happen to me. I might do that when I can't go to Spoon because they finna jump on me. No, ain't nobody finna jump on you, sweets. Ain't nobody finna do nothing to you. We in here. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Hey,
telling you, man, talk to yourself.
yeah.
Ain't nobody finna do nothing. I'm finna walk in here.
I talk to myself
That's what you
all
gotta
the
do.
time. I talk to
And make
myself
your
all the
decision.
time, bro. I swear, you'll hear me out loud. You'll hear me out loud. Come on, Greg. Stay with it, Greg. You got one more in you, Greg. They can't mess with you. They can't touch you.
Yeah.
Like, I talk to myself. If I look good, I tell myself I look good before anybody else. I'm my biggest champion for me. And I am surrounded around love. I am loved and I'm surrounded around love.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is I love on me first, though. I don't put all that pressure on the people around me. I tell myself I look good. I know I look good. So when you tell me, it ain't nothing new. It ain't a person in this
Yeah.
world can tell me I'm ugly or that I don't take care of myself or that my hygiene ain't where it's supposed to be or none of that. So always be a champion for yourself.
I like this comment. See, he's saying it's
Yeah.
your mind state. That's what I want people to know. Is the
Yeah.
fear is there. It's always gonna be there.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, make your decision. Because you gotta face it regardless.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's facts. And look. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely got to tune in. Be in tune with yourself. Be in tune with yourself and watch how that'll just help your relationships, because you're not just putting pressure on everybody around you to keep you happy or to motivate you, because you're already doing that for yourself. And one of the things that I want to make sure we don't forget to touch on is when we talked about your circle is an indication of your actions.
Yeah.
Your circle is
crab. What do they call it?
that crab in the bucket mentality.
We was just talking about Freddie Gibbs about this yesterday when I told you, man.
Yeah, last night
I want to say this because I want to say I'm sorry. I don't want to cut you off, but I want to say this real quick.
Go ahead. Say it.
Again, I don't know what Kanye West is going through.
Yeah.
But French Montana said everybody leave you, but real friends are the one who come running at you when it's an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same thing, like Freddie Gibbs, he clearly was in a deep state, right?
Right.
And I don't know why is this the fact that it's a mainstream rapper from the 219, but he don't get as much love. Now I don't know his background, I don't know everything he's done, but I just think that
he from the crib.
At some point, people gotta we need to support him. Like he the only, like he's doing it with Gary, whoever on his back is 219. And I just think that you have to encourage people where they at. And that's the only way you're gonna get better as a person, and that person is gonna get better as a person. But the whole thing with the circle, go ahead and explain that.
Listen here. Saying your circle is an indication of your actions. Is a reflection or indication, whatever, of your actions. So here's the thing. That's powerful to me, bro. I tell people out there, you want to know if you're on track and you want to know if you're moving in the right direction. There's a part where you may have to cut people off. There's another part where people are going to cut themselves off. They're going to unfollow you on social media. They're going to, delete you from all aspects of it because you're doing something. There's some people that's just going to hate you because you're going after your goals and they gave up on theirs, right? So they don't want to keep seeing you in Mexico with your flowered shirt on and your Ralph Lauren hat to the back. You understand? They don't want to see you raising your family, your kids. They don't want to see you in good health. They don't want to see your skin looking good. They don't want to see that, right? So you don't even have to cut those people off. They're going to cut themselves off because they're tired of every time they get on their phone, they jump on their computer, whatever you got going on, you winning. And it ain't that you did anything wrong. They just hate it because they kind of like them fell into the rut and don't know want to. They don't want to, get themselves out of it. But your actions and your circle definitely play a part. I tell people all the time, I don't hang with people. I link up. I don't hang with the guys. We're not kids no more. My mom taught me a long time ago. My mama said, boy, don't be hanging around a bunch of hard legs. So if you ever think about it, when we had our cars and stuff back then, like our first cars, it was just like a few of us. It was just like me, like it was never like 6 or 7 or 10 of us in no car, like ever. And then once we got separate cars, we would roll back to back, like just you in your car, I'm in my car. Like, it's all plays a part into that, right? You can't be around certain people and in certain situations, certain things, and because that is a reflection of your circle is a reflection of your actions. So what I mean, I want to steal your thunder too much. I want to give you a piece to speak on that too, because I know that was something that you brought to the table too. So but just don't forget about it, y'all. Y'all don't got to cut people off. In a lot of situations, you do. Well, wait a second, back up.
Yeah, you do.
Some people you may have to cut off. Other people are going to cut themselves off, right? So if they're in your Facebook and they used to follow you or something, and you see them in that people you may know stuff, they cut themselves off. I see people from high school, from all type of stuff. They like, dang, man, I didn't think he was going to, and look, and they done cut themselves off. And I still love you from a distance. I ain't got no hate for nobody. It's just, I noticed it. I just want you to know I noticed it. And I still wish you well. Yeah. But that ain't going to stop nothing over here. So, but go ahead.
So, okay, you addressed that a little bit, but I think that we should also touch on how your emotions have a way of making you change your thought process as well.
Yeah.
And if most people probably, maybe they watched the episode or not, but we were talking about how growing up, like as men, you're kind of taught like not to cry, not to show any emotions.
Right.
And like what we alluded to is that most of the time when I'm just speaking for myself, I don't like speaking in third party and for other people. So most of the time when I'm in certain situations and if I get angry, I've probably held something in. I probably held something in, and when you get it is when you get it. You understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because I did not release my emotions when I should have. Yep. So it puts me in a deeper hole. And that's what I want to tell people right now is that you might be on the job with somebody right now, and it might be this one particular coworker that you not getting along with. And then at some point, either you're going to have to bring it up for discussion in a proper time, or it's going to spill over and kind of end up bad. Right?
Yeah.
So, and it's because you haven't released your emotions. So whatever that tactic is for you, you have to release them. One of the biggest things I always tell employers, or like if I'm going for a job or something, I won't take the job unless I know I'll have good relationships, or I think I could have good relationships with the people.
Absolutely.
Because I done seen people be 10 times smarter than me, but they can't get along with anybody. I can't get along with them, and it ruins you. So I think that for people always try to like start businesses, right?
Right.
I'm gonna tell people right here, if you try to start a business, it's not about what product you have. It's not about how you're marketing the product. It's about how you're relating to the people and what emotions you can pull out of them. If you can relate about anything about your business to that person or that group of crowd, you'll win them over. No ads, no marketing, no anything. And I think that it's a big component of this is emotion, because a lot of us, again, we try to start a business, but we don't understand the emotional aspect that's attached to it. I hate when I hear people say it's not business, it's just personal. How is it not personal?
Business.
My kids is involved with this. What they got to have food to eat.
Yes,
my house note, your rent, your car. If you think about it, if you lost all of that business, it's personal. You see what I'm saying? This is very personal. So I don't understand that when people say that. So you got to check your emotions.
Yeah. Um, and I would just say, when we talk about like checking emotions, first thing I want to get on is the like hiring, right? I've been in a lot of positions to where I'm the hiring manager, right? I've never hired anyone that I can't kind of like, there's a sense of likability there, right? If I don't feel that connection, because it's gonna get personal. I manage personally with people. I
Yeah.
connect with people. I figure out what motivates them to come to work because that's gonna keep them there and drive them, right? And I've always managed high functional teams, right? So it's a sense of likability. And I can't wait till we get into actually the interviewing processes and stuff like that.
Yeah, let's just stop there. I want to be able to get people on here. We're gonna fix resumes on the spot.
Yeah.
If you want to do
Look,
that, we're gonna cover letters. We're
yeah.
gonna teach you all of that, everything
Yes.
we know.
I would say this, and if we're talking about just job situations, I shout out, really not shout out, but again, I don't really like the name drop, but it really felt good getting a phone call last week on one of our close friends, and was telling me like, bro, uh, the interview tips that you gave me,
Somebody just
um,
got a job from that, man.
it worked. It worked for me. And I got another interview and they invited me back. So then I was talking to him. I'm telling them, okay, you hit him with that one. Now we're going to hit him with another one too. Go back and do this. Try this. Remember this. And that's going to set you aside for this second interview. Man, I tell you, boy, I jumped up for joy when he called me back and said he got the job. 30 something dollars
For
an hour.
real, for
30
real,
something dollars an
man.
hour.
The highest he's ever gotten. This is real stuff. I ain't.
You know what I'm saying? Man, that made me feel good. You don't owe me nothing. You don't owe me nothing, man. You did it for yourself. And I just feel good that I'm putting real out there, real
Yeah.
factual stuff. That's what we do, man. And I'm glad that, that actually helped change the circumstance and motivate because now that you got the 30 something, now we're going to talk about what's next. It's always like that, but I just felt good about that. And, I just want to make sure that the people know that. And I appreciate bro for even calling and telling me that it worked because even though I know it worked for me, I'm glad it worked for somebody else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know what, I've been in across from them rooms a lot. I've hired a lot of people. I know what it looked like. So, that worked out for sure.
Yeah, and I think we're getting down to the end, but I want to make sure we get to this because the whole purpose of this is mindset, your thought
Mm-hmm.
process. This is what I do to train my thought process. And maybe you can take a little bit of this and train your own mind, but
Right.
this is what I do. Just like I'm doing right now for this podcast. It's my wife's birthday today. I'm taking an hour out to do this because we plan to do this on Wednesdays at this time. I'm in another country. What I did was I know I got this coming up. I made sure the platform we use allows international streaming. I made sure that the hotel inn they had what I needed. I brought all my equipment, made sure I had what I needed, and I'm doing it right now. So that's the thought process. You got to do something, you got to follow through on it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're trying to get to a particular goal, I'll give you an example. If I know that, I'm just going to say it like this. If I know that I want my health to get better, and this is what I'm doing right now,
Right.
most of the time, if you look at what you eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you consuming some type of meat. So what I've done is I started out by saying I'm only going to eat chicken and turkey. I'm going to lay off the beef and the pork. I'm not going to stop eating. I'm going to lay off for a little bit.
Right.
Maybe I only eat it on the weekends. Okay, that was first
Mm-hmm.
phase. Second phase. Now I'm not really eating pork. I'm gonna cut out the ribs and stuff. I'm gonna keep eating bacon. Okay, I'm getting rid of it. Now I'm at the point where I'm only gonna eat chicken and turkey. Okay, I'm following through on that. Now I'm at the point where I'm gonna lay off the chicken and turkey. I'm gonna get it. And how I'm gonna do that? I'm gonna just eat. If I do eat chicken and turkey, I'm gonna just eat it for lunch. That way, I can burn it off. I don't want to eat it for dinner because it's gonna sit on me. You see that's my thought process, and I want to help a lot of people understand how they can form their own habits because the thought process will turn into a habit if you do it effectively. So that's just all I want to leave you with on that.
Yeah, most definitely. what you practice, and it goes back into the discipline and the consistency. That's in anything you do. It's not just about your job, your career. That's anything, every aspect of your life, whether it's being whether it's about your diet or health goals or being a good mom or a good dad or anything, just being a good person. It
Yeah.
takes work. It takes work to be good. It takes even more work to be great. You understand what I'm saying? So, I think that we've fallen into that habit, and I think it's a good one, of knowing what that process looks like, right? And that's just being athletes, right? That's we know what it's like to work out, run hard,
Yeah.
lift weights or whatever, and see what that turns into in the field. And then we've done the same thing in school. We've seen what it's like to study, to dedicate time, whatever, and to pass a test, or sit down for 4 years, 5 years, whatever it takes to get a degree and walk away with a degree of some. It's all a process, and everything in life is a process. So I usually put the same practice into play, like you said. It's consistency, dedication, holding yourself accountable, and being around people that hold you accountable too. That's another thing of it. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if if you telling me what you just told me today about what you trying not to eat, and you come to my house and I fix you some rib tips,
Yeah.
then you just tell me you
Yeah.
not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Don't enable me. Yeah.
yeah, like, no, I want to see you do that. You know what I mean? And that's just kind of how we rock. And I think that everybody needs to surround yourself around people like that. You can't come around me talking about you going back to school or you trying to pick up a trade or you're trying to do something. You can come around me one time and say that, and I'm gonna help you with it, whatever. The second time, I want to know what you're trying to do, to get yourself in that direction. The third time, stop talking to me about it. Stop running your mouth. You know what I mean? You're just running your mouth at this point. And I'm not one of those people you can just keep running your mouth to. Because if I'm giving you time, that's time that I could be with my family. That's time I could be doing for myself. So if I'm giving you my time to be there for you, don't BS me and BS yourself. You know what I mean? So, um, but the mindset, and I would say bigger than anything, what we talked about today is your mindset. Making sure that you continue to keep a strong head, a positive outlook on things. Understand that you are not perfect. You won't be perfect. Actually, stay away from perfect people, or people that preach perfection. Um, but understand that there's lessons that you can learn, and that we all trying to grow, and that your circumstance may not be ideal, and you may not be where you want to be yet, but a positive outlook, a mindset, and certain practices that you could put in play will deliver you from that. And I feel like, you know what I mean, we all go through highs and lows. It's all a part of the process. So keep putting in that work, keep that mindset, keep yourself around people that hold you accountable, and you'll be all right. You know what I mean? So, I have nothing else that we need to go over today, bro. I feel really good about the session. Um, got a lot of questions answered. You got a lot of good, content with speaking to the people, and good feedback. So, this was our live session number 5. We continue to drop, the full versions on YouTube. So make sure you following us on all streams and all platforms. Like, share, subscribe, and everything. But we're gonna get you back to wifey birthday, because this was the power hour. Now it's time for
Yeah.
you to get back to your vacation, man. I'm gonna get back in with my family and everything. So, what I'm saying, peace and love, everybody. We see y'all next week. Same time, same place. It's your boy G White, IOU Redemption Podcast.
Big speaker. And I just want to leave you with this. Yeah, out of everything we talked about, you
Yeah.
can't form no plans without God involved in those plans.
Mm.
Big speaker.
Preach. I'm out.